in Search for Wellness is created by Eden's Cellular Wellness Solutions, whose vision is to develop and create wellness solutions. Eden's Cellular Wellness Solutions presents to you How Do I Start My Journey in Search for Wellness? You are most welcome to participate in this series of discussions on 6 topics. These topics are designed as a wellness solution to encourage and empower you make the important decision and take action towards your journey in search for wellness. How do I start my journey in search for wellness? This is part 1 of trainings on wellness and is prepared by Eden's Cellular Wellness Solution. Welcome. In this training, we will be covering a series of topics. In fact, 6 topics. Why should I be interested? Why should I be interested? One can ask that question. Why should I be interested in searching for wellness? How do I start my journey? Someone may wonder, where do I begin? I have had this and that, but how and where do I begin? When do I start? At what stage of my life should I start? I don't feel pain anywhere. I'm not sick. I'm able to do my work. Is it really necessary? When do I start? What is my objective? My gift of life? And can I influence my wellness? So we'll be going through these sections in a series of short trainings until we complete the whole of the topics. Why should I be interested? Section 1. Surely, why should I be interested in searching for wellness? Anybody could ask such a question. Though this information about wellness, search for wellness, and lifestyle change is really applicable to almost every person. But you'll find that people in different stages of life will wonder, why should I be so interested with it? Why is it important for my life? Why should I give it time? Why should I give it a thought? Why should I hassle myself to go through such a challenge? How important is it? Of what relevance is it to me? So you'll find that most times people may not be able to accept or receive or use the message or information immediately because we have the tendency of saying, this is for so and so. I think so and so, this group of people are the ones who need this information. So this is a very relevant question. Why should I be interested? Scientific research in the recent several years have brought to us a lot of wonderful information. Information and knowledge that is now being embraced by medical researchers and medical doctors, nutrition scientists, biochemical scientists, cell biology scientists. They are now very interested with this research because it is bringing a kind of a revolution. It is igniting a kind of revolution. I must say it has already ignited a kind of a revolution. And the whole world today is within an era of the science of lifestyle revolution. Surely, we can truly say that the world today is within an era of the science of lifestyle revolution, which reveals the influence of optimal nutrient supplies on the active substances reactions in the cells or metabolic work to generate wellness, energy, growth, cleansing or detoxifying, autoimmune efficiency, and managing aging. What are we saying in these points? Here, our reference point or our center point of reference is the cells. We say that the cells are smallest units that make up organs. Every organ is made up of small units or spaces which have got aqueous fluid or water fluids with chemicals. And in the cells are so many active substances, which in the other video we called biochemicals. We say that these active substances react together. So they are reactions of active substances which take place in the cells. And this activity, interaction of these active substances in the cells is what we call metabolic work. And what we are saying in this science of lifestyle revolution is that nutrients that we supply into our cells through whatever we eat, through whatever we drink, or whatever we take in form of supplements, it has a great power. It influences the reactions of the active substances in the cells. Or we can say that the optimal nutrient supplies influences the metabolism in the cells, the chemical work in the cells. So this is what we are saying, that we are saying that the whole world today is within an era of the science of lifestyle revolution. There is a scientific basis of lifestyle revolution. People are being encouraged today to change their lifestyle, to consider a change in lifestyle because of, we saw in the other video, of diseases that are coming, that are emanating, diseases which emanate from within the body itself, not all the time because of viral or bacterial or fungal infection, but because of imbalances of active substances in the cells, which affect how the cells function, which affect the efficiency of the cells, which affect cleansing or detoxifying activity, which affect the autoimmune efficiency, or which also greatly affect the rate at which a person ages. So this is why this lifestyle revolution, we are saying that there is a science behind the lifestyle revolution. Revolution of lifestyle change is not just for the sake of just making a change. There is a scientific foundation which is now guiding and propagating and driving this lifestyle revolution. And we see that the basis and the center core of this scientific lifestyle revolution, is in the influence of the optimal nutrient supplies. How these optimal nutrient supplies influence the active substances reactions which take place in the cells and which we are calling metabolism or metabolic work. These optimal nutrient supplies greatly influence the work of the chemical work of the cells. And it is this chemical work of the cells or metabolic activities in the cells or the active substances reactions in the cells. It is their responsibility to generate wellness for our whole body. We said that the body is made up of over 100 trillion cells. So when all these over 100 trillion cells from all different organs are working efficiently in the cells, they will automatically generate wellness for an individual, for a person. They will generate optimal energy. They will develop a healthy growth of the cells. If it is a young person who is growing, if it is a baby who is growing, they will generate optimal growth. Our cells will grow in a healthy way without undergoing malformation. They also influence greatly the efficiency of the cleansing or the detoxifying activity, removing the toxins in the cells, which are produced by the metabolic activity. They will, these optimal nutrient supplies influence the cleansing process of removing all toxins from the body, from the cells, which go to destroy the DNA. They will also greatly influence the efficiency of the autoimmune efficiency and also manage aging. And because of these reasons and others that are coming, you see why every person should be interested. Every person who is walking on the face of the earth should be interested about how they can develop a lifestyle of wellness. Develop a lifestyle of wellness. Another critical factor that is also coming into play in this science of lifestyle revolution is what here I have written this topic as PE, physical exercise. In our schooling, from foundational elementary schooling, even in nursery school, in kindergarten, in primary school, in secondary school, we always had lessons for PE, for physical exercise. We had sports, we had games where we go and do games maybe in the evening, or a whole day is a sports day. But in every week, every class must have a lesson of PE or 2 lessons of PE where they go into the field and do physical activities. And this is why I have given it this elementary title or name of PE, or physical exercise. Physical exercise. In modern times, we fight because of the kind of life that we must live, the kind of works that we must work, the kind of homes that we live in, and the way we move to our places of work. We find that the greatest percentage of the population will find themselves in a status of sedentary living. We find that you're sitting most of the time going to work, you sit when you're working, you come home, you're sitting, you sit when you eat, you sit and after eating to watch TV, you go and sleep, and the following morning you start the same lifestyle. And this life may go on for 365 days in a year. And you find that most of your year, you have done no manual work, you have not done any exercise, the body muscles have not been exerted, the joints have not been moved a little bit faster, your lungs have not breathed in more, they have not filled in more of air. And this is what we are calling sedentary living. And so physical exercise is that process of movement of limbs and muscles that enables the body to move a little bit faster, The body parts will move a little bit faster than when one is sitting or when one is driving or when one is sleeping. And here we are saying that the other critical factor at the front line of this revolution is the increase of the speed of internal physiological systems and rate of metabolism in the cells. We have already come across metabolism in the cells. Metabolism in the cells is what we said is the reactions of the active substances. In the other video, we called the active substances are nutrients. The active substances which are in our foods are called nutrients. And when they go into the cells, they interact with one another in what we call biochemical reactions. And that interaction of these bioactive substances is what we call metabolism in the cells. And another thing that I introduced to you here is something that is called physiological systems. Physiological systems. We said that physiology is the work of the organs. For example, everybody has got a heart. You have a liver. You have a liver, not river. You have a liver. You have a spleen. You have the intestines. You have a stomach. You have the ovaries. You have the bladder. All these are organs. We have the pancreas. All these are the organs which are found inside our bodies. And these organs, each one organ has got its own specific work. The liver has got its own specific work. The heart has got its own specific work. The lungs has got its own specific work. The stomach has got its own specific work. And the intestines have their own specific work. But when all these works of all these sites are joined together, when they are joined together, the whole of this network and system of all these organs working together is what we call physiology. And so we can talk of the processes that bring about different work in physiology as physiological systems. For example, we have a physiological system of transporting oxygen from the lungs to all the cells and transporting oxygen from the cells to the lungs and to the outside. We can also see the physiological process of taking food, absorbed food from the intestines in the blood and taking it to all the cells of the body which need it. We may also talk about activities, for example, of the removal of waste, soluble waste products from the cells by the excretory systems, and it is processed out through the kidneys and to the outside as urine. So all these are physiological systems. And so what we are saying is that the physical exercise, what you are calling PE, where the teacher used to tell us, it's time for PE. Get out, all of you, and let us go. Remove all your jackets, remove your cardigans, and let us go out for PE. This is a critical factor at the front line of this revolution, because its main purpose and the functional way is to increase the speed of the internal physiological systems. You see, to increase the speed such that when you start running, or you are walking a little bit faster, or you are walking rather than sitting, or you are skipping with a rope, or you are treading on a treadmill, or you are in the gym doing some activities. Your activity will increase the speed, how fast these physiological systems are taking place in your organs. For example, how fast is oxygen being obtained from the outside into the brain? How fast is glucose being obtained from the intestine to the brain. How fast is carbon dioxide being removed from the cells through the lungs to the outside? You see, and how fast is oxygen in the blood being circulated to all parts of the cells? That is what you are calling the speed of internal physiological systems. So the PE increases the speed of internal physiological systems, and although the speed of the reactions of the bioactive substances in the cells. These are very critical things. This increased speed is influenced by increased muscular and limb movements through exercise or manual work. So when we go for PE or when we are doing manual work or we are walking, it greatly enhances the movements of our limbs and the movement of our muscles. And both nutrient supply and exercise are the major factors in facilitating wellness. So I want you to see I have highlighted that name, that word, both. So because here I'm looking at the two aspects, two major factors. The major one factor is that of optimal nutrient supply. Optimal nutrient supply and exercise. Optimal nutrient supply and exercise are the major factors in facilitating wellness. They are major factors in this science of lifestyle evolution. This topic, titled Risk of Degenerative Phenomenon. We have heard a lot about degenerative diseases. We have heard a lot about non-communicable diseases. We have heard a lot about the diseases of lifestyle. But how are they coming about? How are they coming about? Let us look at the points which are given on this slide. We are still addressing the question, why should I be interested? Why should I be interested in undergoing through this process of search for wellness? We must also realize that the whole humanity is now experiencing body conditions where dangerous diseases that originate from within the body, diseases that are difficult and expensive to treat, are on the increase, and everyone is at risk. A life of sedentary living with insufficient supply of nutrients will automatically lead to reduced or degenerating efficiency of chemical work in the cells. Remember, we are still trying to find out good enough reasons why we should be interested in going into a journey, entering a journey in search for wellness. Why should I be interested? I need to be convinced enough so that energy can be developed within me to start to commit myself to do this and that. It is a known fact now. It's a known fact that this matter of degenerative diseases is affecting the whole world. We realize that there's a gift of life that we are losing, that we inherited from our forefathers. And because of our modern lifestyle and modern way of living, sedentary living without activity, and feeding on foods that have got are insufficient of optimal nutrients, and also over-consuming some of nutrients that are bringing harm to our bodies. We realize that it's a common trend now that as societies are losing out on the practices which were carried out of living and lifestyle, which were carried out by their forefathers. And we are slowly entering, or we have already entered, and other communities continue to enter into the modern living. We will find that the whole world is now having to come face to face with the risk of degenerating phenomenon. We know this risk of degenerative phenomenon has greatly cost people in life, in resources, devastation in families, and scattering of investments. The last point there says will automatically lead to reduced or degenerating efficiency of chemical work in the cells. We have already come across the chemical work in the cells, which we said is metabolism. We talked about efficiency of this chemical work. We also talked about the speed of this chemical work, and we saw how optimal supply of nutrients influence this chemical work. And what we are saying that sedentary living with insufficient supply of nutrients will automatically lead to reduced or degenerating efficiency of chemical work in the cells. So what we are talking about degenerative phenomenon is what is covered in that last point. It is reduced or degenerating efficiency of chemical work in the cells. This is what we are calling degeneration. When a person experiences this degeneration of the efficiency of the chemical work in the cells, a process which takes a very long time. It takes almost 10 years, 8 years, 15 years of the body being exposed to poor supply of nutrients and also sedentary living will automatically lead to this inefficiency of chemical work in the cells. We will say that in science, we will say that biochemical work, biochemical efficiency, there is no more, there is a deterioration in the biochemical efficiency in the cells. And we have seen that it is this chemical work in the cells that in all the 100 trillion cells that generate wellness. It generates for us energy, it generates for us wellness, and also is responsible for producing and synthesizing new cells. And according to what now science has established for us, the talk of degenerative diseases and diseases of lifestyle is an issue in every country, even in third world nations. Unfortunately, this matter is affecting people in up country, even in third world nations, which are not, nations who still, people are still living in the countryside, people are still growing their foods, there is no such great advancement of technology, and you find that in these communities, there aren't a wide range of synthesized food products. We know that in the advanced countries where we call first world nations, we know that people eat a lot of products from the shelves. Someone may live wholly on foods which they just pick from the shelves. They may never even pick a product they may not even know where the market is. And so, but we are saying that even in the third world nations, where people are still up country, people are still farming for their foods, I am greatly shocked. I am greatly shocked because even in our upcountry areas, we are finding that many people are suffering from these diseases of lifestyle. People who should not be suffering from this disease. In fact, the African nations in the tropics should not be suffering from this degenerative phenomenon. And I say again that this is something that should not be happening in the African nations which are within the tropics. This should not be happening. However, with that said, the whole world, the whole of humanity is now experiencing these body conditions. They are now body conditions which are being expressed and manifesting themselves as diseases, which are manifesting themselves because of the insufficiency of supply of nutrients and also because of sedentary living. And this is for us to see that sedentary living is as critical as the supply of optimum nutrients. And we are saying that people are experiencing conditions which are dangerous diseases that originate from within the body. These diseases originate from within the body. They may not originate because of attack of bacterial attack or viral attack or fungal attack. We know that science and medical science has fought big time battles for humanity to sustain life and to save lives through fighting against dangerous microbes, like we saw 2014, the fight against Ebola. We saw our medical scientists fight that battle and win that battle, and within a record time provide cure for Ebola. A scientific fight against disease. Those are diseases that come from attacks from microbes which are from outside the body and destroy the body and even can kill a life. But here we are talking about conditions within the body. Conditions within the body that are developing into diseases that are very difficult to cure and very, very expensive. And almost everyone is at the risk of these diseases. We are trying to answer the question, why should I be interested in entering into this wellness search? Why should I be interested? Why should anyone be interested? Why should a young person of 20 years or 30 years old at the peak of his life enjoying life and driving the best cars and earning a good salary and going to every place that he would want to go and enjoying with friends, why should he or she be bothered by anybody telling them that you may need to adjust your lifestyle? Why should anybody want to stop their enjoyment and excitement in life by bringing difficult things about degeneration? You see, that is the question that we are trying to answer. And it is showing, what we are showing here is that the whole world, the whole humanity is now faced with these conditions. All these diseases of diabetes, of cancer, of cholesterol, of high blood pressure, of macular degeneration, of allergies, of arthritis, of obesity, of boredom, lack of creativity, lack of enthusiasm with life. You see, all these things, all these are conditions now that have caught up humanity all over the world. But already there is a lot of research that have been done, and a lot of knowledge has now been released that may encourage us, to change the way we look at things and the way we think and the way we do things, so that we may maximize on our gift of life. Reverse degeneration. Reverse degeneration is just what it means, that this degenerative condition can be reversed. We are saying here that however, with changed lifestyle, many people have in recent times testified of reversal of degeneration and increased vitality and wellness. I myself am a living testimony. I'm a living testimony of what God has done for me in the last 8 years or so. If it was not for the intervention of God and pointed to me of things that I was doing wrong, things which I thought was correct, that had deteriorated my life, my creative ability, my capacity to study, my energy. The changes that I made after I saw and I learned some few things, it increased my vitality big time, that I started doing things that I never was even able to do, and I was able to continue in this research into nutrition and wellness. And that is why I am confident when bringing this matter to you. I am confident in sharing this idea of why you should be interested in changing the lifestyle in your life, or even in pursuing a search for wellness. I have therefore realized the power of nutrient supplies and increased metabolism. These improvements show that what medical, nutrition, biochemist researchers have reviewed and recommended works. So we are saying here about that it's possible to reverse the degeneration. The other slide has talked about a fact that two major factors are necessary. By changing our sedentary living and improving on the supply of nutrients. Because if we continue with a life of sedentary living with an insufficient supply of nutrients, and we continue like that for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, like that, what is happening is that the efficiency of the work of the cells is degenerating. That is an automatic thing. That will happen automatically until one starts complaining of fatigue, starts complaining of headaches here and there, you see. And so we have seen, great testimonies have been given that when people change their lifestyle, increase your body movements, find ways of creating exercising your body, and also research a little bit more and be more interested and commit yourself to supply of nutrients into your cells, you are surely going to reverse this degeneration. So what that slide told us is that if we continue in a degenerative lifestyle, in a sedentary living, with insufficient supply of optimal nutrients. It means though somebody may look nice and you're still energetic and healthy and able to do this and that, your efficiency of the cells is slowly and slowly and slowly degenerating. In chemistry, we use to study of some elements which are said to be radioactive. And these elements would give out, we would call that they would emit various energies with time. And we would say that these elements decay with time. They lose their radioactive power slowly by slowly over years. And you'll be told the rate at which an element would be decaying. And in the same way is what you are saying, that the efficiency of the work in the cells decays with time, degenerates with time, if it is not supplied with optimal nutrients, and if the speed of the reactions is not increased, is not at optimal level for a long time, we will slowly develop these degenerative conditions in ourselves. But if we take time and be interested, arouse our interest, and make commitment towards this venture, change our lifestyle, find ways of activating and speeding the rate of physiology and the rate of reactions in the cells. Find ways of eating more fruits and vegetables. Find ways of or abilities or power to cut on the eating consumption of too much of animal products. All these things, which we will discuss in another part of the training. If we do these things, we are surely going to reverse this unseen degeneration in ourselves. This degeneration is taking place in ourselves, but it is unseen, but it manifests itself after many years. So with changed lifestyle, many people have in recent times testified of reversal of degeneration and increased vitality and wellness. I myself, I have experienced this improved wellness even in my advanced age, and I have therefore realized the power of nutrient supplies and increased metabolism. These improvements show that what medical nutrition, biomedical nutrition, and biochemist researchers have reviewed and recommended, it is working. So what is being reported by medical researchers, nutrition researchers, and our biochemists is very true. It is working. It is going to reverse. It is going to reverse this degeneration in our lives. But it is our responsibility to enter into a process of lifestyle change. In this year of 2018, I had the privilege of participating in a food revolution, which was conducted by John, a gentleman called John and Ocean Robbins. I'm not going to talk about them. If you Google John and Ocean Robbins, you will find a lot of details about them. But it is about food revolution. But what amazed me is that this revolution, this series of lectures, it was a series of lectures which had started on a Sunday and ended for 7 days, almost 8 days. Detailed lectures and contributions from most of the contributors were medical doctors. That is what impressed me most. These medical doctors who have engaged in this process of research on modern degeneration and how this problem can be solved medically and with other alternative ways. And I was very impressed at what they told the people. The medical doctors testified of great wellness improvements after change of lifestyle in diet and exercise. And this work I have put together. This work I put together for all of us to empower and encourage anyone who is toying with the idea of attaining wellness, to make the driving decision and to take action, which opens doors to encounter amazing wellness solutions. The medical doctors in this revolution, they played a very, very important role. Very, very, very important role. We know the role that the medical profession has played in the humanity, this of humanity, is fighting disease and preservation of health and life. We really have no contest with them. We must always be grateful to this body of dedicated people. Every doctor, whoever worked in the medical industry, in the medical profession, we just must thank them and bless them and encourage them to continue with their good work. But we also know that with the degeneration processes that is overtaking within the body of a human being in the cells, there is much more. There is much more research that has been engaged in, and a lot more of research has been unearthed now, which also brings to the front line the importance of nutrients, the importance of the food, of the diet that people feed on every day, and also the importance of somebody's lifestyle. Is somebody's lifestyle sedentary? Do they have time to exercise their body, to walk, to go up the staircase? Or are their lives sedentary living? So what this says is that to be able to solve this to overcome the degenerative problem, is that every person must be engaged, because it is an individual who sources what food they eat. It is the individual who is responsible for their own diet. It is the individual who will take responsibility about exercising their bodies or ensure that you do not sit for 365 years. That is not a doctor's responsibility. That is not a doctor's responsibility. So our contribution towards, together with the doctor's contribution, it means that we are going to improve big time, big time, our opportunities of fighting and defeating disease. And this contribution of the medical doctors, DRA gave a signature for anybody who is toying with the idea of lifestyle change, asking, does it work? Is it relevant? Do I need to do it at my age? Am I not too young to get these diseases? I think this change is for our parents and our grandparents and the older guys. You see, the presence of the medical doctors encourages us that we are all involved in it. Everyone must participate in it. In fact, we will see later that this work needs to start right in the homes, right in the kitchen, right in the families, in the schools of training our children of the right way of taking care of our health. So this adventure is worth undertaking. And this adventure of searching for wellness for an individual, as an individual journey, is a journey which is worth undertaking. And so this work is dedicated to every person who may receive it in their own hearing, to empower and encourage anyone who is thinking or toying with the idea of attaining wellness or going on a journey on wellness. Maybe you have heard testimonies of people of how their lives have improved, and you feel that I would really want to do something about it. I would really want to do something about it. And this work is being prepared for you, to encourage you, to tell you that it is an adventure worth undertaking. I thank you for listening in this section. Thank you very much for your participation. I'm very appreciative that you have given this work time, that you have given this work some attention, and I trust that the training has unlocked the gates into your journey in search for wellness. And may God help you in this endeavor. This work is a product of Eden Cellular Wellness Solutions. Goodbye.